Alrighty, for this video, I wanted to go through a little bit of wireless. I have actually 3 of these out here that are actually wireless. These 3 that I have are actually do all the same features if you want wireless. But when you buy these, there are extra features in some of these that aren't in others. Like this one has this little funky panel array. This unit that's on my first video on networking that will be posted actually has a firewall in it. This is a business line. So if you're looking at needing more features, you may want to look at a business line wireless. They all basically have, ports for your router feature. Some have a USB port on them that you can use for media sharing, data storage, backup drives, whatever you can want to figure. But you got to look at the model. Some will have some features, some will not have features. These are features in these. In the old days, they used to be standalone devices that you would connect to these devices. But I want to do a quick thing over Wi-Fi. Devices. These are the devices. These aren't N, G, A, any of that Wi-Fi 6 differences. That will be totally different because there are units out there, like this one, I believe, that has a new model out for the business that has a lot of the same features, but where this one's N, it's G, or the newer one might be AC. They might be G, N, and AC in the same model. Because over the years, all they've done is upgraded the wireless features. But all the other features that are in here, the firewall, port blocking, your bandwidth blocking, how much, if you want to let each port see each other, all these other features that are integrated in a firewall. Now, understand, this is firewall features that are now in a Wi-Fi router. That's crazy. Now you don't need a standalone firewall. Most of the time, you don't find that in these kind of units. There's units out there now that have firewalls, media sharing, your 5 ports on the back, your Wi-Fi, everything in one unit that they didn't have in the old days. It's quite amazing what's in these little units now, where they all used to be separate units. So I wanted to touch base on this because this is a major factor if you're looking at going to Wi-Fi. I know almost probably everybody has Wi-Fi now. But in a business environment, you may want to add Wi-Fi, but you need security features. You might be able to go out and pick one of these up for $80, $200, whatever they are, and integrate the firewall from this unit instead of having to dedicate a port on your firewall, dedicating traffic, or even buying a completely separate firewall to put behind your firewall to control your Wi-Fi network. On the other video I mentioned, with something like this, you can buy a great unit like this and then run out cable lines, or if you have ports in the wall, tie those into these and put these kind of routers as access points. There's reasons why you could do that. Depending on what kind of unit you have, you can have features on these and disable features on these and use features on this. So if you want all DHCP done here and turn it off here, you can log in and remote into this and see who's on your network and what they were doing. You can create logs, you can create all kinds of things on this unit if you buy a fancy unit that maybe this one doesn't have the feature for. But they're actually connecting through this unit that might be 900 feet, 1,000 feet down a hallway, connecting to this unit with this access codes, this passwords, and everything on here that then communicates to here. All your logs, all your data are saved here. So if something goes on your wireless network because your firewall or whatever on your other side is telling you something's going on at this IP address, you can go look here. You don't have to go look here, look over there. They can all be here. This is important if you're a home user, because not necessarily if you buy one unit will it cover your entire house, cover your entire property. You may end up putting 2 of these somewhere on your property. You may put one out in your garage. You may put one out in the back somewhere towards the back of the property to cover all your property. Maybe even run a line underground to a guest house or something else, in the back, or however you want to connect from there to there with a electric wire bridge or whatever other technology you want to use. So for wireless, this is the factors I want to cover. I don't want to go too long on this, but for the basic wireless video, I wanted to point out these factors. I know in the old days you used to buy the old units, one piece. Businesses, high-end business racks. I will call it a rack because it has your firewall, your master switch, your dedicated other switches that go out to other places, usually are all in a rack kind of format that there's 5 or 6 stacked together. That's the way it used to be in the home. It used to be all stackable devices. Boom, 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 boom. You'd buy your firewall, you'd buy your router, you'd buy your Wi-Fi, you'd buy your modem, you'd buy all these things. You just put them on top of each other and, or buy them separate and stack them out across. Nowadays, you can pretty much all get it almost in one unit. If you rent a cable modem, run a DSL modem, a lot of times you can have almost all those features in that unit. But here's the thing I brought up on the other video. Who manages that unit? The one I don't manage that unit. Cable company manages that unit. So I have a unit off of their unit with a cable connected from that to the switch on that unit. I don't use their Wi-Fi. Have my own Wi-Fi. Have a single nice unit I have mounted in there that has my media sharing, all the bells and whistles, everything on it. From there, I can run out to a mesh network. From there, I can run out anywhere I want to the back. I can run it to the garage, have it all separated, all through that one router, all to them. Or, if I wanted to, I can have my fancy unit with all the data sharing, all this type of stuff that's run however I want to run it. Mesh unit, different access points. And then, because that cable modem I have has 4 ports on it, if I want Wi-Fi out in the garage or out in the back property, I can run a separate line off of there to those. So they don't actually talk through this device and slow down my device by all that traffic. That's one of the factors. But as if you're an IT professional that's doing it in a business, that's what that stack is for. That's what that manages for you. You understand that. That's all that can relate to at home. I know it's kind of woo for a lot of people out there, but basically what I'm telling you is what IT professionals do all of that I just told you You can basically go buy that and you're done. If you shop around and find the right device. Like I mentioned in the other video, I'm not telling you go out and buy a $600 or $800 device. You can go into a thrift store nowadays, find devices that I'm sure will meet your capabilities. Because there's people out there buying Wi-Fi 6 today that really probably will never need Wi-Fi 6 because they want it. So they get rid of all their old devices because they want Wi-Fi 6. That's great for you. You can go pick up those devices for $10-15. The one I bought was like a $300-400 device for $10. I'll take it any day of the week. This is information I want to pass on to you, especially home users. Like I brought up before in my last video, you might be having to increase your workstations. You might be working from home. How about your wife or husband? They working from home? How about your kids? Are they doing school from home? You might have been able to get away with one workstation or one laptop. Now you may need 4, 5, 6 workstations. You may need to upgrade your wireless, because now you might have had your living room TV and your computer workstation somewhat close. Well, now you got 5 or 6 people all trying to stream classes, all this other type of stuff. Well, that's not quiet. You have audio, so these people can't be sitting right next to each other. So they're all going to be spread out all over the house. You're going to need that Wi-Fi spread all out over the house. So that's what this is basically letting you know about. There's other devices out there like Wi-Fi repeaters. Basically, you hook them up to your computer through the network cable, log into it, remote into it. You give it the information of what your Wi-Fi network is, your password, and what you want the repeated network to be. Problem with those is they're slower speed. Once you repeat, it's half the speed of your internet. Not your internet, of your Wi-Fi. Not your internet. I've heard people say, oh, you can't do that, it slows it down too much. Well, depends on what you're running. If you're running a G that's 450 megs and you have 100 meg internet speed, guess what? Half of 450 is what? It's still more than 100. Even though if you run in an older technology and let's say it connects at 50 meg speed, 50 meg is still pretty quick. Now, you don't want to put a bunch of devices on. You don't want 3 people all using that 50 meg connection. So you may want to upgrade what network you have. If you're running a B, you might want to go to a G network. It's not that big of a deal. You buy a new device. Most routers nowadays, or repeaters nowadays, you're not going to find a B network. You're going to find one that's compatible with the B network. It's going to be a G or N that's backwards compatible all the way down. So it doesn't hurt to upgrade. It's just when you upgrade and you change things around, like your Wi-Fi name, all your devices will have to be relinked and renamed. That's just one factor you're going to have to do. But I wanted to cover this so people are aware, because I'm sure this is a major factor right now. I'm sure there's probably a lot of people that I know I've seen where they put a computer here and a computer in, and they're pretty squished in together and they can make do. You know, if you have something like this, don't forget you have network ports. You can always network it. You don't have to have wireless if you're in a pretty close confined space. This is just a quick video. I know it's 2020 pandemic and all this craziness that's going on, and I'm kind of late to the show for posting these kind of videos. But there may be people out there that haven't gone back to work yet, are just starting to get recalled back to work. And maybe you're going to get recalled back to work and be remote working. That's one of the big crazy things now, is you got people starting back up to work and they're remote working because all these other businesses are starting to come back up and they're going to need more help. This might be a major factor for you. You might need to know some of these videos. I got lots of videos out there. Check them out. There's a lot of data out there that you might come across and go, oh no, I'm going to need help. So check them out. Leave a comment. Make sure you hit subscribe down below, because that's what this channel is there for, is to help you guys out at home. Again, with Wi-Fi, you have different Wi-Fi channels, different bandwidths, different frequencies. You know, you have B, you have A, N, G, AC, AX, and then you have the new Wi-Fi 6. These are all different things out there. You have mesh networks. What else do you have? You have repeaters. You have access points. These are all variables that come into wireless. I'll try to cover a lot more categories on this, but this is kind of a thing that is kind of hard to cover because it's based on the individual settings, recommendations, what you have. But it's really not that hard. It's really not that complicated. It's just doing your homework, finding out what you really need, what you got, and what you need. Most of the time, what you need and what you're going to end up getting, you're going to probably end up getting more than what you really need, because if you look around and you go into a store, you're not going to find any of the older, slower stuff. If you have the money and you can afford to go out and buy a brand new Wi-Fi 6, go for it. You can go into some thrift stores. I'm sure you're going to find stuff that's going to meet your needs, because everybody else is buying mesh, everybody else is buying Wi-Fi 6, everybody else is buying the brand new upper end technology. Businesses are upgrading, and of course when you upgrade and you're bringing in a company, they're not going to recommend anything like this. They're going to recommend the high-end, top-of-the-line stuff. You're going to buy this stuff. You're going to take out all these smaller units. You're going to take out all this stuff. Well, that stuff's out there. So look around. You'll find it. I think I'm going to end this video with that. Make sure you hit subscribe. Leave your comments down below. Thank you so much.